Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony. Welcome to another edition of BNA Sports Talk. So we're going a little bit out of line, I think. I'm not too sure, but on my BNA Sports podcast feed, I upload pretty much every single day. It's either going to be a run. I'm going to keep on talking about it, by the way, pretty much every single day until you follow it. But basically, sometimes I go for a run. We just talk about life and stuff. But it's mostly just me re-uploading what I talk about on BNA Sports Talk. I don't do film reviews. I don't include my film reviews on those. So sometimes I do exclusive, just talking sports. And what I did was a video me ranting about Major League Baseball. So I definitely would check that out. And also I'm going a little bit out of order. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do with the YouTube videos right now. I want to talk about and revisit Rashod Bateman and talk about another wide receiver. I'm not sure if it's in the title or anything. I'm not too sure what I'm giving it away. Another wide receiver that I'm like, I hate in the beginning, then I'm like, I'm kind of getting a little bit up to. So Rashod Bateman, at one point he was my wide receiver 3. I had him ahead of Devontae Smith, but Devontae Smith is just a more crisp route runner. He's kind of like a floater. He's just a guy that's going to be able to create separation, get open with his pure speed, his length, his size, be able to get those contested catches. And obviously, off the line of scrimmage, he's not going to be great, but we're not talking about Devontae Smith. We're talking about Rashod Bateman. I rewatched him, and I was really disappointed. I'm kind of revisiting some players. I'm like, oh, that's not really how I thought of them in the beginning. Like, I really love Joseph Osai. I still love him. But, like, Rashod Bateman, I'm like, I had him, like, I don't mind the Giants taking him at 11. I would mind that. I would mind it a whole bunch. He's now wide receiver 5 for me, or 6. He's just kind of disappointed me with the speed. He ran a 4.39, but it's nothing better than Jamar Chase. He has Jamar Chase speed, and we're not complaining about Jamar Chase. We're not ranting and raving about saying he's great. It's he's really a 4.5 guy, and what he does do well, I realize, is jiggling. Like, be able to get wide open and be able to maybe on third downs be able to jiggle, and like maybe if he has good communication with his quarterback, do that and be productive in that fashion. I don't think him and his quarterback Tanner Morgan really had that good camaraderie. I watched the game. He's dropping passes, not really in and out of the hands, but passes that you should catch. Like, come on, let's try to get the momentum here. The thing is, they were too overly reliant on him in some games, where it's just like, I feel like maybe there's too much pressure on him or something. But no, his long speed is not great. He's not good with yards after the catch. A guy like Jalen Waddle, a guy like Odell Beckham Jr., you get the ball in his hands, you're like, oh, God, they're going to do something a little bit. But with Odell, he did a little bit too much finesse. I don't think Rashod Bateman's not finesse at all. He kind of just runs. He's like almost like a tight end after the catch. There's nothing like when I see him have the ball in his hands, I'm like, oh, he's dangerous. That's what some people say, but I didn't really get that feeling. Like when the guy catches the ball, sometimes you're like, oh no, he's going to break out for like 60 yards. Like, this is it. He doesn't have that long-term speed, which is what the Giants, I guess, kind of need. I mean, we have John Ross. We have, Sterling Shepard. I don't know, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton. But as far as his fit on the team, I wouldn't want to. I would stay away from him in the first round. I think he's end up going to a team like the Baltimore Ravens. Rashod Bateman, wide receiver 5 for me again. I'm trying to think what some other points I have about him. And also blocking. He's not really much of a willing blocker. I didn't really notice that. He doesn't really have that length, any elite size, speed, anything where just like, that's the guy. No, I think he's a second round value. He's going to be like an A.J. Brown. One of those guys, just like, oh, he can find a role with a certain team, but he's never going to be a true wide receiver 1, I don't think, ever in this league. He doesn't have that size, athleticism, and speed to, he has some joltness, he has some quickness, but off the line, I do worry about him just a little bit as far as strength and being able to deal with press man. It's not a huge problem. I think I worry about that a little bit more than people do. But the guy that I really want to talk about, the guy that's film I really dove into, is Terrace Marshall, who played for LSU with just a horrible quarterback. Unlike, I guess the Golden Gophers quarterback wasn't bad, but they're just so frustrating sometimes playing with the bad quarterback. You see, sometimes he's just demotivated. His body language wasn't great. But he's still a lengthy guy. He's be able to get up, snag the ball. He feels like he catches the ball, he flicks it out of the air. It feels like it's nice and simple. Rashod Bateman had a couple drops throughout his career. Like, I saw a couple of drops by Terrace Marshall, but it's nothing ridiculous. It's like, can you just throw it to the guy? Like, he's wide open. Just make it easy for him. Just separation. He's nice and physical. He has that speed to be able to catch up to the cornerback and be able to make a move there. With Rashod Bateman, it feels like his speed off the line wasn't great, and it feels like good corners be sticky on him. Like, he's not really gonna create that much separation as far as quick burst, but he does offer that kind of jiggle, like I was mentioning before. He doesn't offer too much like distinct route running. With Terrace Marshall, he's smart. He's able to find little holes sometime in the defense where it's just like, like with a quarterback, he's going to be smart in that way and come across the field. And, the quarterback, even though it may not be a part of the routes, if he has a good camaraderie, good communication, he'll do good in that fashion. He does have a variety of routes. When he has the ball in his hand, I am scared. I think that he may truck a dude and get that extra first down. With Rashod Bateman, I was never really worried about, oh shit, the ball is in his hand. But with Terrace Marshall, I'm like, oh god, he has the ball. What is he going to do now? I think he can develop into a wide receiver 1 for the team, but he's a solid number 2. That's my fair line. He's a solid number 2. But Terrace Marshall, if he can fall to us in the second round, that's a guy I wouldn't mind taking. He would be an 8 out of 10 on my excitement meter. Like, it depends what we do in the first round, obviously. Let's say we get Elijah Vera Tucker, and then we can get a Terrace Marshall. But yeah, why not? Why not? The dude's tall. He's 6'3", 6'4". I'm not sure he's got height, but he looks tall playing. Rashod Bateman he just looks small when he's playing, and he's not even like a fast twitch speed. But Terrace Marshall, I didn't like him in the beginning because it seemed like, you know what, I didn't see anything really that amazingly special when I first turned on him. But the more I watch, the more I go, there's some traits here. And the quarterback play was really rough. The thing is, last year you had Jamar Chase, you had Justin Jefferson, you had a lot of guys taking those snaps away from him. But this year it was purely him. But the problem is, they didn't have great quarterback play. I mean, they were like 3-7 this year. They beat the Gators, but like they're 3-7 this year. He was able to, he's able to go 1-on-1 against a cornerback and win. He has that ability, he has that physicality to be able to use his hands and kind of create separation as far as that goes. He's good across the middle. I keep on mentioning back to Rashod Bateman because I keep on remembering points. His only route really is just a slant. Like, I didn't see him be able to like be a contested catch guy on the edge, but Terrace Marshall can do both. I think he has a wide tree because of his height, because of his physicality, because of his athleticism. I like Terrace Marshall. He's moving up my rankings. I really don't have a ranking. You have the top 3 guys. He's probably wide receiver 5 for me. Maybe wide receiver 4. I'm just curious who else I'd put there at the number 4 wide receiver. And Chris Sims really opened my eyes up to this guy. I forget exactly what points he made, but he had me look back into Rashod Bateman because he wasn't even in consideration. He's like, yeah, Rashod Bateman's like a 12 on my ranking. He just doesn't offer anything special, but Terrace Marshall's like 6. I was like, okay, that opened my eyes just a little bit and made me want to watch more. Maybe Jamie Brown. Maybe I have to dive into him a bit more. Let me know if you want me to review kind of his film. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know what you guys think about Rashod Bateman, because there was a bunch of hype about Rashod Bateman a couple weeks ago. Remember that? I was leading it. I was leading the charge, and then I kind of looked back. It's like, okay, maybe not. But this whole thing is fun. This whole thing is fun, like predicting which guy's going to be successful or not. Now, I have some takes out there, and it's going to be fun kind of looking whether it was a scenario that wasn't good or maybe it's just a player wasn't good to see what happens like that. But hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.